Welcome to the NIL podcast. I'm your host, Jermaine Dixon, here with my brother, Levance Field. Today, we got a special guest, Baltimore legend, a guy who's been winning at every level. I feel like in college, Virginia Tech got snubbed on some NCAA tournaments, but we'll talk about that a little bit. Played at Towson Catholic, ran the city, became an all ACC guard and one of the best players in Virginia Tech history. Went on to have a long and successful pro career overseas, playing in Spain, Germany, Russia, Italy, and spent some time with the Atlanta Hawks. Now he's back home, building something special with his sports bar and lounge, So Baltimore. Got his AAU program, MD23 Elite. Is giving back to the city that raised him, a true hooper, entrepreneur, and leader. Welcome to the NIL podcast, Malcolm Delaney. It's good, MD.
Appreciate y'all having me, bro. Took a little while, but as long as we can get it done.
Hey, no, we definitely is gonna make this happen. Do you feel like your name get the respect it deserves in Baltimore?
Nah, honestly, and it ain't even just basketball. It's because you know how our city is our city got their picks, and if you play the hood politics, you always gonna be the fan favorite.
Mhm.
And I never cared about that because everything. I mean, we grew up together, so everything we kind of did was always natural. Like it was never. We didn't have to do nothing extra to get no credibility. But I think the biggest thing with me is like when you talk about like athletes to ever come out of Baltimore, period. Like I'm probably the best one. Like when you talk
Mhm.
about basketball, football, and baseball. Like people don't even talk about like baseball. A lot of people know me from football, but like I could have did it in any of the three sports. So I think that's the biggest thing. And that's just people that ain't really been around us. The older heads, that ain't
Mhm.
really tap into other sports. But I think everybody, we grew up with kind of know. But I never really cared.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because I tell people all the time, looking at everybody pro career, where you talk about Melo, Sam, my brother Juan, Rudy, like
Hmm.
every people had a great career. And even though your time in the what you played in the NBA, three
Two,
years?
2 years.
2 years? You played
Yeah.
2 years in the NBA, but your overseas career is better than a lot of people career, period. So I
Yeah.
I I always I ain't gonna lie, like, that Baltimore chat on Facebook, I don't jump on it
Yeah.
too much, but I put you at the top, you and Melo. I gotta give Melo that respect, and Lee, we claiming Melo.
No, for sure.
Uh, but I put you and Melo at the top as the best come out of Baltimore. A lot of people say Sam, and Sam get that respect as well too. But you and
Yeah.
Melo definitely at the top for me.
Yeah, Sam too. That's my OG too, and Melo just. I mean, Melo is non-debatable. Sam just because his career in the league and then winning, but like you said, after them, like it, and there's been people that had good pro careers in the league and doing different things, but top to bottom, like I was the best player in my grade since I was 8.
Hmm.
Like it was never even like a comparison to like 1 and 2 always been like separate. So it's like when I look at it like that. Like, yeah, people could have had a good 2-3 year stretch, probably could have made some more money. They could have did some different things, but like it never was like, we had our rival with like Dez and Lil Eric when we were
Hmm.
growing up, but as far as like the top person in Baltimore, it never was nobody above me since I was playing.
Yeah.
So, man, and some of those guys, like my big brothers, like Melo wasn't the best player when he first started. Like until he
Hmm.
got to high school, he wasn't the best
Hmm.
player. Like Rudy wasn't the best player until he was a
Hmm.
junior. So it's like when you talk about some of these players, like I grew up watching everybody. I stole everything from everybody when I was young because my father coached them. But like
Hmm.
I didn't see anybody really that was older than me that really ran the city. And Sam and them older. I didn't meet Juan until we played Hoop It Up
Hmm.
together, and I just met who Juan was. So I didn't know Juan growing up,
Hmm.
but like I just never seen it.
Yeah. And you mentioned Vincent, and that was another person. For me, we played at Madison together.
Mhm.
I looked at Vincent and Worm were two Vincent and Worm were two guys that I said I looked at them two as the best players. Was those two of your role models? Of course, Vincent is definitely
Yeah,
one of your role models.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Worm was like my big brother, and we all grew up together. Every practice they had, I was there. You know, what I mean, every trip, every tournament, I was there. So yeah, but I used to still, like I said, with Worm, with Vincent. Vincent was more a football player, but he still, you know, he hooped. But like with Rebo and Tyler and all them, you know, I grew up. That's where I stole all my stuff from. Like it wasn't. Of course, I would watch NBA, and you know, what I mean, I wasn't Jordan, but you know, I try to steal stuff from like AI and stuff like that. But my whole game came from Baltimore. It's like
Yeah.
I stole bits and pieces from everybody that I seen growing up, just because like we had some tough guards, and you know that mentality just always, you know, the underdog mentality. I seen them so much that you know they was my idols.
Oh, you
Go ahead.
I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say, hearing you say that, similar to me growing up and people in my neighborhood, when did you realize like, all right, I'm gonna take this serious and I could do something with this basketball thing? What age?
Uh, honestly, bro, like I fell in love with the game at like when I was 5. Like when I first literally like I was a hawk, bro. Like I used to do my homework in school, come home, go outside, hoop. Like you know, I had a I was on. We had the only basketball goal in my yard, and it was just like some dirt and rocks, enough space for one car. And we used to have the whole neighborhood. You know what I mean? We got power lines back there, so you couldn't shoot from far, but um, I was a competitor, bro, and it wasn't even just like falling in love with the sport. I think I fell in love with just competing. Like I always wanted to try to be the best at whatever I did. I think, you know, once I think we probably got like 10, I think like a website called Be More Hoops came out. Like it was like now they starting to talk about rankings and who better. Now I start to see like names like Nolan Smith, Chris Wright. They like, oh, the DC guys is better.
Mhm.
Now it's like, we gotta take this a little bit more serious, and then it just kind of put more of a chip. So I think, you know, like I said, I was always kind of good just naturally because I never worked out. Like it just was always having fun with it.
Was
But
hooping outside.
once we started getting competitive, when it's like, all right, Baltimore versus DC, somebody ranked above you or he better than you, then I really like locked in and took it serious. So I'll probably say like when I was like 10, I really like I wanted to go after everybody after that.
E even though you say 10, because 'cause I'm 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
You played up.
Yeah, I
So,
was always playing up.
yeah, Malcolm was 8. Malcolm
Yeah,
was
I was
8
always
playing
playing
on
up.
our
Yeah.
team and killing though, like, busting dudes' ass, bro.
You get better.
And
That's how
that's it.
you
Nobody really knew my age. Like I said, when I was 5, like so when I was 5, that's when Melo first came to Baltimore. Like when
Mhm.
they talk about Melo coming to Baltimore, like him and my brother played on the same AAU team that summer, when they was with Madison. And so when they went away, you know, I was on the bench.
Mhm.
Like I had a jersey on, I'm running layups. Even when
Ma
I barely could get the ball up, like I'm there. So it's like
Malcolm
I
dad
was
was the
there since
coach.
then. Yeah.
Uncle Pat was
So
okay. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm people see me 5, it was only 10, 12. We didn't have like 8, 10 back then. We didn't have 8 and under. We had like it started at 10, 12 where we played at. So I was 5. So by
Mhm.
the time I got to actually play 10 and under, people like, yo, I done seen you for this many years because I was always around. I was always playing up, but I never got to play my right grade until I turned like 10. That's why I'm like, you know, when I turned 10, it was like, all right, now I can kind of, I'm still playing up because it was 10, 12. I'm still playing with 12-year-olds, but that was kind of my age group when I finally got the age of 10.
Hey, so you started at McDonogh. You played at McDonogh you played there for a year and
hmm
then went to Towson Catholic. What made you transfer over to Towson Catholic?
So the biggest thing was me stop playing football. So you know
Oh,
and looking back at it, bro, it's like one of my biggest regrets probably is stop playing football. But like I said, I'm super competitive, and that was like something that played a part in it because I went there, you know, as a freshman. I played varsity football and basketball, so I didn't even expect to play varsity football. I just wanted to go have fun because all my friends was playing JV. So I'm like, you know, it's a big football school. You know,
mhm.
I know how this goes. Let me just go kill JV because you know, we used to play JV a year, then go play varsity.
Yeah.
And first day of camp, they like, nah, like we ain't bring you here to play JV. So I'm like, all right, well now I'm back in that competitive mode. Like it's like I see the quarterback. I'm like, nah, like I'm better than him now. And that's just me. Like I just came off a national championship with Northwood. You know, we just won a national championship on ESPN. So I'm like, oh, now I'm competing for a spot. But I didn't know like, yo, he a senior. It don't matter how good you is, you're not about to get the spot. Like, I didn't know the politics. Nobody taught me the politics because I didn't have really an OG like that. My brother played JV, then played varsity. So when I went into that situation, I'm just going through the season. I'm not playing. It's the first time ever in my career where I didn't play in either sport. So I'm just not playing. They see me unhappy. I'm like, yo, I can help the team. So now I'm in practice. They put me at receiver. They put me at DB. They putting packages in just to get me involved just because they knew I was good. They wanted to keep me happy. But I was a quarterback. And it's
Yeah.
like, bro, if I can't play my spot, then I just honestly, bro, I just lost love for it. Like I woke up one day and I called my father. I'm like, yo, I don't want to play football. And he was like, huh? Because they basically handed me the keys. Like after that year, they like, look, they made me pick out the uniforms. We had new helmets. Like they like, yo, we gonna do this. And what offense we want to run, I was about to change the whole system at McDonald's.
Oh shit.
And so when I went and told the coach, they was like, nah, like the agreement is you got to play both. And I was like, well, I had just broke my hand, my shooting hand. I was like, yo, I'm just not feeling it. Like if I'm not feeling it, I'm not playing.
Mhm.
So it was a whole big thing up McDonough. I don't want to get too deep into it, but they kind of turned it back on me because I didn't want to play football. And, the basketball coach was like, yo, I think, after hearing the stuff I hear, you should leave.
Who's the
And so
coach?
it was Coach Matt.
Okay.
And he ended up leaving the next year after Dewan left. So it was just like a big thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just get up out of here. I didn't really fit in there anyway, but um, if I could have, like, if I understood the politics of it, I probably would have never left McDonald's. Like, if somebody could have sat me down, like, yo, through my freshman year, like, yo, look, this is how it's gonna go. Because my next year, my receiver was a lottery pick, a top 10 pick. We had Darius Hayward Bay.
Wow.
He broke every record in Maryland. So I would have, like, it would have been easy for me to do what I needed to do, but
Right.
nobody taught me the politics. I was just super competitive, and I was like, man, if I'm better than somebody, I need to play. And what I mean, that took the love from the game from me.
Yeah. So now you go over to Towson Catholic, and we're not gonna go year for year, but you won Gatorade Player of the Year. That was your senior year, right?
Senior, yeah, senior. I want
Senior
all,
year.
yeah, all MAC, BCL, and my double A and Gatorade.
Y'all had a y'all had a stack roster.
Yeah, we had a mob, but it was me and Tay really spearheading everything, and
Mhm.
and that was one of the
How
big
long-
reasons why I went to TC. It was like
we-
that
we-
was
yeah, pardon me.
Dante Green. Dante
Dante
Green.
Oh,
Green.
oh,
Yeah, so everybody from Mount Royal, TC was a
Mhm.
Mount Royal school. So it was like,
Right.
we had like 5 or 6 people from my team that was at TC already. So when we started making the decision on what schools, first they wasn't gonna let me play in the MIAA or the BCL. They was trying to do a transfer rule. We got that, overruled and they let me play. So yeah, I wanted to play with Tay, bro. Like Tay, I seen, we had a big, we don't have too many bigs in Baltimore.
Right.
And it was like, we was playing together that summer. I'm like, yeah, this might work. And then we had a couple other players on there that I felt like it was good. They had a black coach. The school was cool. I had family that went there. So it was like, man, if I'm gonna go anywhere in Baltimore, I really wanted to go to like a Dunbar or something, but my parents wasn't gonna let me go to public school.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided to make that move, bro, because I felt like it would have put, like, we was on the national stage, and that was one of the coaches that knew how to handle that. So, playing with Tay, it just, I mean,
Yeah.
we had some fun them couple years.
so you named all them awards you was able to win. While you were playing well at the high school level, how was the recruiting process for you? And who started recruiting you first, and how did it
Uh,
go?
so so my very first offer was after my freshman year was LaSalle. It was Han. So we went to LaSalle team camp. That was my first offer. That's really when I was like, all right, like, I'm a lock all the way in on this because I was still at McDonough at the time. And we went to team camp. He came on the court and offered me, and I was like, that's when I clicked in me. It's like, all right, I got my first offer from basketball, and I really don't care about football. I'm like, and
Mhm.
I was getting interest in football, and I barely played, but it was just like having a coach walk on the court like while we were playing, like it's a dead ball, and offered me my first scholarship. It kind of changed my mind, and I think Gary Neal was there at the time, so I knew G Neal, so it made me feel kind of special. It was like, we got a Baltimore guard. He just played with my brother at Calvert Hall, and then I get offered from them. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take this serious. And then my sophomore year, once I got to TC, it just kind of took off. We had, of course, we had Maryland right there. I think my second offer came from Maryland. Then I had like Clemson. It was pretty much all ACC schools. And then I think the plan was for me and Tay to go to the same school. So it was like whoever was recruiting both of us, that's all we was paying attention to. So it was like, Maryland, Georgetown, like some of them other schools that was close. But then they kind of backed off of Tay for some reason. So it was like everybody else, like Maryland backed off of them. It was like Clemson and Syracuse picked up. And once Syracuse picked up, he committed early. So that kind of like Syracuse didn't offer me until like my end of junior year when I was already kind of hot. And even with that, looking back, like I had like Pitt, I had Louisville, and it's crazy. It's a funny story. Like I didn't look at no schools that was wearing Adidas.
Mm.
Like
Straight Nike.
the craziest thing, like I was so, bro, Nike was taking care of us so much. Like in high school, it was just like, bro, I swear to God. And looking back at it, like I definitely should have looked at Pitt, like Louisville, like, you know what I mean? Like at the same time, but it just was like, man, I want to play in Baltimore, bro, it was like playing the ACC. That was just like the thing. It was like, so it was all ACC for me. And then I wanted to play against like Duke, Carolina. So that's just what I grew up on. I grew up seeing the ACC and, so yeah, it started picking up, bro. And then VTech was always on me, but they was Adidas at first. And I never paid them no attention. Like I was like, man, like the uniforms was trash. I see their whole swag, bro. I remember this, bro. They had black and red T-Max. They didn't even have team color shoes. They had black and red T-Max, bro, with the Virginia Tech colored jerseys. I'm like, man, I would never go there. You know what I mean? Like, never. And then Wake was my dream school. And I took my visit to Wake my junior year, and I was gonna commit. Like I was trying to get it out the way. CP and Justin Gray was like my favorite guard duo in college. And if they would offer me, I would have committed. Skip Prosser was on me. We had Tim Fuller, who was my guy, that was CP guy. Went down there. They played VTech. Coincidentally, 80 Visayo had 40 on Wake, and they beat them. And Virginia Tech had just switched to Nike. Like they went from Adidas, switched to Nike. Wake didn't offer me. And when I left that visit, I'm like, damn, they made us come down here. I was trying to commit. Then I seen 80 Visayo get 40. I'm like, bro, there ain't too many niggas in college getting 40 or
40, yeah.
even college coaches letting people get a chance to get 40. So I'm like, all right, maybe I need to look at VTech a little bit. And then, I start paying attention to Jamon Gordon and Xavier and Dowdell. And I'm like, man, they got the toughest backcourt in the ACC for real. And they dogs. Like, it ain't no big name. Like, Greenberg just letting them go. And then all of them graduated. So it's like, that was like how it kind of came into play. It was just like, once I seen that it was open for me to go in and play, like I said, my competitive spirit, like, of course I want to go in and compete, but I felt like I was good enough to go somewhere and play and, you know what I mean, and bring something to the team right away. Once I seen they had 3 guards that was graduating when I was coming in, it was like, this is my opportunity. Like I can go in, get better and develop, but that kind of happened faster than I thought, but that was kind of how it went. Like once VTech and I seen that opportunity, I kind of blocked everything else out. Like didn't care for Maryland. I didn't like how Gary Williams recruited. I didn't want to really
I
be.
wanted to ask you that. How was that?
Yeah, he recruited terrible, bro. I met him 3 times. He said the same exact thing all 3
Every
times. Like it just was like he never met me. He just like, yo, kept tossing me his ring. He like, yo, if you want to win, come to Maryland. I'm like, bro, don't nobody from Baltimore care about Maryland, bro. Like he going about it the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they were trying to send Keith Booth on us, and it just didn't work. It didn't feel genuine. And I would have loved to kill back home, but like I said, once he did that to me, I was like, man, I want to kill Maryland now. Like that was like another thing. It was like, now I want to be able to come back home and
And
kill him.
bust
So
your ass.
yeah, VTech just made the most sense for me. But yeah, I would have definitely looked back at like Pitt, Louisville, like them schools was on me heavy, and I just never paid attention to them.
I'm
It's
with you.
crazy. Hold on,
Like
my
even
bad,
you
man. It's
say,
crazy.
oh, go ahead, Lee.
My bad. It's crazy you say that, Malcolm, that about Adidas and you went to Nike school. Because in high school I was Gaucho, so I was Nike too. Like Nike took care of me. My senior year of high school, we went to Nike. So all I knew was Nike. I was Nike, baby. I played in the Jordan All-American. And I committed to Adidas school. So when I get there, they like, yo, you only can wear Adidas. I was like, what? Like I ain't even
Yeah.
processed that. And I think about that, like how you say that, man, I'm happy with the Pitt, but I think about like that. I ain't really think about going to a Nike school when I think about it now. Like I was just like gung
I
ho
was
on
I
going
was
to Pitt.
trying hard. I was diehard Nike, bro. Like you couldn't. I like I didn't wear. I think we wore Adidas my 1500 year when we was Baltimore Select. And then I ain't touch, but I didn't wear another brand, like only Nike or
Okay.
Jordan until probably I went and played in Munich in Germany, and we had to wear Adidas. But like I've even in the league, even anywhere, but until this day, I've never hooped in another brand shoe. Like since then, those 2 years, the
Nike
only two
no.
years, yeah, I've never wore nothing else. Like turned down deals. Like when I got to the league, it was like Adidas was, they was just handing out stuff. I'm
No.
like, nah. Let me go check with my rep. They like, nah, bro, we gonna take care of you. I'm like, all right, that's cool, bro. I don't even need no money. Just make sure my gear, you know what I mean? Make sure I get all my stuff that I
Uh-huh.
need. I wasn't even tripping about the bread. I was so loyal, bro. And just now seeing the NIL stuff and all the other stuff, I'm like, man, I don't care about no brand. Like whoever gonna make sure my kid's good is, you know what I mean? Like I still
Mhm.
prefer Nike, but at this point, my mentality is a little bit different because I'm not playing no more. You
Yeah.
know, it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
When you said that, talking about, you only look at the ACC, I felt the same way, and it's a Baltimore thing. Growing up, like we only watched it. Like Maryland was on. We
Hmm.
get some Georgetown, but Maryland, you see Duke, you see Carolina, you see Clemson was good, Wake.
The
So
ACC network.
yeah, we watching that. And I didn't think about a Big East school until I got to JUCO. And
Man.
even, me, I wasn't a big time recruit out of high school. So it was, I was going to JUCO anyway. How was Seth Greenberg?
That was my guy, bro. Like, it not even just basketball wise, because it's probably coaches that could have did better jobs with developing me as a pro or whatever. Like, people got their specialties,
Mhm.
but the biggest thing with him, bro, is like he actually cared about you on and off the court. It was like, I committed there because like he was one of the coaches that didn't lie. Like he kept it real. You know what I mean? He talked to both my parents. Like nobody was really talking to my mother when they was recruiting me. I think he won her over. Once he won her over, it kind of was like, all right, like it was an
Mhm.
easy choice because on the basketball side, I was already sold. I didn't even care, but I was gonna go there before I even visited, before I went on my visit or anything. I already knew I
Mhm.
was going there. It was just like that feeling was like I always been in situations like I can adapt to any environment. So if you put me
Mhm.
in the right situation when it comes to basketball, I don't care where it's at. Like as long as the basketball good, I'm cool. And so I went on rest in peace Keon Carpenter. He took me on my first unofficial. I think they played Clemson my junior year, and Carp went to VTech, played football, played in the league. He was like a family friend, and became one of my mentors. But once I went on that visit, I'm like, all right, basketball, it was lit. I'm like, the culture was football, but it's like you can start to see, basketball starting to get a little bit more
Mhm.
notoriety. And like I said, with the opportunity presented itself, like Greenberg came in and he took over full control of the recruiting. And once he did that, I think, I was sold. And like I said, all he had to do was tell me, bro, I believe in you. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. And, he didn't say like, yo, I'm gonna get you to the league. Like I wasn't even thinking that, going into my freshman year, I wasn't no 1, 2, 3 and done. I wasn't thinking about it. So it
Mhm.
was more so like longevity, how he was gonna make sure I was good, you know what I mean, on and off the court. And, he definitely took advantage of, his relationship with my family, and that was an easy choice for me.
What was the biggest jump for you coming from the Baltimore high school scene going to the ACC?
Playing point guard. I think I never played point guard. I was a combo. I could make plays. Like I was a playmaker. Like I always had like high assists and this stuff just because I had the ball in my hands, but I didn't understand how to play point guard. You know what I mean? I never played a lot of pick and roll. Like me and Tay, like we were just so good in high school. It was mostly ISOs and
ISO.
a lot of stuff like that, but I didn't know how to play pick and roll. I didn't know how to control the tempo of the game. The only thing I really knew how to do was get fouled. That's how I controlled, the tempo of the game. But yeah, that was it, bro. I went in, like I said, we had 8 freshmen. Day one, I didn't start. Like we had a pure point guard who came in from Vegas late. My brother Hank Thorns, and I was pissed about that. I'm like, bro, they just signed because he played 1700 and then he signed late.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, bro, I committed, signed early. I'm like, bro, they just brought this in from Vegas and this started. And I'm like, bro, oh, but they was just like, yo, we want a period point guard. So I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? I ain't tripping. It's my freshman year. Again, I'm not even thinking like
Mhm.
NBA or trying to kill. I'm just thinking like, shit, I'm in the ACC, bro. I'm trying to get my feet wet.
Mhm.
And then like 10 games in, we literally playing at the Garden at the holiday festival. We always played there during Christmas, and that was when I got my first start, and it kind of took off from there.
Who was that? I was
From
gonna ask, what was that game where you felt like, "Oh, yeah, I arrived. I'm
Yeah,
here."
so I think freshman year, I kind of had I had a couple good games, but I wasn't being super aggressive. I was being passive. Like I said, they was talking about they need a peer point guard. So I think I went to, yo, let me try to do my best to be a point guard. I'm trying to stay on the court.
Mhm.
I ain't trying to make too many mistakes. You know what I mean? Just trying to fit in with what they needed from me. And then I think we might have played. It didn't really hit me, bro, until we played an ACC tournament. I think I kind of towards the end of the season, my momentum started picking up, and I was super confident. I started shooting it well, and
Mhm.
then going into the ACC tournament, I think I had like two big games. I had like 15 on Carolina and 15 on Miami. No, yeah, 15 on Miami. We beat them, advance, and then we met Ty and Hansborough. We played
Mhm.
them in like the semifinal. I had like 15 or 16 on them, and they beat us like pretty much at the buzzer. And then like that just changed my mentality going into, sophomore year that, now I really think I can, put up some numbers, but I didn't think it was about to jump from where it jumped from.
Did that was a crazy jump. Did your sophomore year, is that when you moved to point guard?
Yeah, so I started, so from that point on, I started sophomore year, I played point. And then they would use me combo when we brought in
Yeah.
some young guards, but I always played on the ball from end of freshman year all the way through.
Um, the ACC was stacked. Who who was your toughest challenge?
So freshman year, that's when we had Jack, Tony
Mhm.
Douglas, Tyrese Rice, Ty. You had I forgot who we had at Duke. Duke didn't really have a good point guard. They had like DeMarcus Nelson, somebody else. Wake had Ish, and Teague was just coming in there. He wasn't really killing that much.
Mhm.
But the ACC was loaded at the point guard position, so it was like freshman year, I went into it. I'm just like, I'm holding my own, but it's like once see I can hold my own against him, that's like I said, that kind of built my confidence. And then going into sophomore year, that's when Wake had blew up. That's when Teague had became Teague. Um, we had like those young guys starting to come into like Carolina and Duke. It was like Elliot Williams was like a high regard. Nolan was starting to do his thing. But once we got to sophomore year, once we started sophomore year, I think, I went into that summer, I told my strength coach, I'm like, bro, like, don't let me cheat. I don't care if you got to watch me every time we're in the weight room. Like, I'm like, bro, I need to get more bounce. I need to get faster. Like, you know what I mean? I know I can do something now because I had that confidence. I stayed the full summer session, sophomore year, and like I locked in. I gained some weight, felt myself getting more athletic, and I just was in the gym. And as soon as the season started, I just felt it translate. It's like the first game had like 18, then it was like the second game had like 18, then I get like a 20, 25. Then it's like a month go by, I'm averaging like 18 or 19. I'm like, shit,
Mhm.
like, I'm like, you know what I mean? I got to figure out a way, but I had figure out, a way to get easy points. And I think I figured it out as a sophomore. Um, and the ACC still, like I said, they still was stacked. Like Wake was number one, I think for like a couple of days we beat them.
Mhm.
And everybody had the hype, and we still, like I said, the Baltimore and me, like they wasn't really talking about me because I didn't really have that big name in the ACC. But and just as Virginia Tech, period, we were still a football school. They weren't
Right.
really saying nothing. They just said, "Oh, this the tough team." They got some tough players. Jeff killed the freshman year, so Jeff had all ACC. Like he was the
Mhm.
name going into sophomore year. And then it just clicked for me as a sophomore.
um, just speaking to you, obviously, it's just me and you. I could tell you just a super confident dude, super confident player. So, like you said, your sophomore year, was it just like knowing you belonged and obviously Coach Seth putting the ball in your hand and you just feeling more comfortable at the one position and knowing
Yeah.
how to manipulate the game?
Yep. And it was like I said, once I locked in, bro, like because I never really trained until my senior. Like I didn't have a basketball trainer until
Mhm.
college. So my junior senior year, I started like lifting weights. I used to go we had this dude that used to, like a trainer that was in the hood. I used to go after school every day and lift, but he had like, literally was in his basement. He had like a couple weight sets. It wasn't like no real training. We didn't do no agility, no none of that. It just was, yo, let's take some creatine, let's lift. Like that's all it was. Like you need to get bigger. But
Uh-huh.
I never had a basketball trainer. Like I never was in the gym, like doing like, we just hoop. I was just hooping. So
Right.
once I was able to get the gym access, you know what I mean, I had the access to, managers that I can just call. Um, I just got super confident. Like once I felt it, like I said, once I seen that the work from the summer started translating to what I was doing going into that sophomore year, then it was just like now, like I held my own as a freshman. Now it's sophomore year. Like I said, when I start seeing 20, 25, it's like, man, I can score with anybody. Now it went back to kind of high school mentality. Now it was just like go. And Greenberg was like, we had rules where it's like, yo, I don't care if it's 1-on-4. He like, you get a rebound or you get the outlet, like you got to put pressure on the defense every time. He's like, I don't care if you shoot it or not. He's like, you have to make them respect, your aggressiveness. So that was the turning point. Once I like put it in my mind, like attack every time, it kind of became easy.
Forgive me because I'm forgetting the dude name. What was the athletic light-skinned dude on your team?
Deron
Deron
Washington,
Washington.
Deron Washington. You, Washington, and Jeff Allen. And I think that was your sophomore year, right?
freshman.
Freshman.
That was your freshman year. He
Yeah,
he was
Deron.
only there your freshman year.
Yeah, AD was there. Vasayo was there my sophomore year.
Oh
The
yeah,
Puerto Rican, the scorer.
yeah. So it was so it was your freshman year. I felt like y'all should have been in the tournament.
For sure. We went, I think freshman year, we went 8-8. And then the ACC, if you went 500 in ACC, you're guaranteed
Yep.
to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Like guaranteed. And I didn't even trip about that. It was like, well, I did, but it was like, it wasn't a big deal because it was like, it's VTech. It's my freshman year. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm playing in NIT. It's cool. We ended up playing Morgan. I'm like, man, we playing, you know what I mean? We get to play Morgan.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't trip about it. And then I think sophomore year, we went 7-9 in the ACC, but we had beat like a number one. We had beat, like we
That's
beat ranked
2 wins.
teams. And yeah, so it was just like, all right, we didn't get to 800, but we had the wins. But
Mm-hmm.
they always try to discredit us. So sophomore year was the only year where I felt like, all right, they didn't really, they didn't fuck us over on the tournament. It was like, all right, whatever. We got the wins, but we was 7-9. I let that one go. But
Mm-hmm.
then like, I think we went junior year, we went like 9-7. And senior year, we went like 10-6 or something like it was like 9-7. We was like the first team ever to win that many games in
And
history
then get it.
and not
He,
get in. And senior year, we beat Duke on college game. Like we had college game day in Blacksburg. Like never happened before. And beat number one Duke in Blacksburg.
mm-hmm.
They said we was guaranteed to get in. Still didn't get in. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like freshman, I think we should have made it at least 2 out of 4 years, but 3 out of 4 years we should have made it. We had 7-9 teams getting in over us at 9-7. Like Georgia Tech got in with Shump and Derek Favors.
Yeah.
It was 7-9. We swept them. Like we never lost to Georgia Tech in my career. But you know what I mean? They had big names, they had whatever, and they was getting in over us. So like I said, but it got to the point, like my senior year, I didn't even believe we was getting in. It was just like, bro, let's have a
He was
party. I'm like,
already
I don't even want to have no party. I'm like,
wow.
and we wasn't even gonna play. Like we literally, bro, we had a meeting. We didn't have no practice before the NIT my senior year because once it happened, somebody called Greenberg early. So
Mm-hmm.
I think the second bracket that came out, and all the coaches, I'm looking at the coaches like I'm seeing teams that shouldn't be getting in, and I'm like, hold up.
It's happening.
I'm like, but we not even like first four in, first four out. Like they had us in. So when I seen it, I'm just like, all the young guys hadn't really been through it. So I'm just like, they
Yeah.
joking. I'm just sitting back like, bro, there's no way they're gonna fuck us over this year. And Greenberg got a call. So Greenberg got a call. All the coaches went outside. Everybody like, yo, I think that's a call. I'm like, nah, bro, that shit ain't good. I'm like, ain't no way that's a good call. So
Mm-hmm.
he just came back in there, bro, slammed his phone.
Oh man.
Find out who the fuck that is. Somebody text him basically saying that we didn't get the nod. And it was before the brackets even came, like the rest of the brackets even came out. So he was pissed. So I'm just like, bro, like, I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, nigga, this mind you, I had put my name in my junior year and I came back my senior year and it was already stuff going wrong. Like they had us preseason number one my senior year. We had, Alan Chaney had the heart issue. So he couldn't play. He had transferred from Florida. There was another Baltimore guy, 6'9". one of my starting backcourt mate had broke his foot or something. He ended up redshirting. Our like our power forward tore his shoulders, like tore something in his shoulder.
Mhm.
Then another person, another four-man, tore his ACL like a week before the season started.
Dang.
So like I came back to school. I'm like, bro, I'm only coming back because they was like, yo, you can only raise your stock.
Mhm.
And I came back to school like, bro, fuck it, we going to ACC. Like we really could have.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then all that started happening. So it's like, nigga, we still
Did that.
with the roster we had, we still came through and did what we did and then get the nod. So I'm like, bro, nah. So we was like, but we ain't playing. We told Greenberg like, we not playing in the NIT. I was like, bro, I'm not doing 4 years in NIT, bro. And so
Yeah.
he was just like, man, look, just take 2 days and we'll think about it and we'll talk. And then he called us like, man, look, you got a group of young guys. We had Eric Green coming behind me.
Mhm.
He was like, man, like the one thing I ask for you, bro, is just to leave on a good note so these young guys can, you know, jump into your footsteps. Like, he's like, bro, you passing the torch to Eric. I believe in him. He was like, the one thing I want you to do for me is, go finish the season and have those guys walk into something next year that's pretty good. So I did it. But bro, we didn't want to play. We didn't practice or nothing, bro. I think
Mhm.
I forgot who we played the first game, but we was over it. But it was just like, fuck it, bro. Let's go compete and pass the torch to the young guys.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
So and you playing, that was off the strength of Seth Green.
Yeah, that was it. But he said he had a meeting with the seniors, and we was like, nah, because we talked about it. I was like, bro, I don't want to do it. He was like, bro, we'll let the young guys do it. I'm like, bro, because it really felt like it wasn't even us, bro. I think they didn't like Greenberg.
They ain't like
It was like
Greenberg.
they had something against him, and it put effect on everybody. It just I don't know what it was, but it's like, bro, they did not want us to get in.
Man, that
'Cause I was gonna ask, did you think it was? Because I think around that time was when the Big East started getting 8 and 9
Yeah,
teams in
yeah, I
the
was getting a lot
tournament.
of teams in. Yeah, it was never a Big East team though. Like it was always like a mid-major West Coast team that got
Mhm.
in. Like it was never like a St. John's snuck in or like I
Mhm.
wouldn't even care. But it's like it always was teams that definitely
didn't
shouldn't have been
matter.
over us or
Right.
teams that we beat or teams, you know what I mean? Like or they would discredit us because we would beat North Carolina and they'd be like, they was number 13 when we beat them and then they fell off at the end of the season. They're like, oh, they got all freshmen, but they got Harrison Barnes and all these guys. It's like when we beat them, they were supposed to be this top team, but
Right.
now you discrediting our wins because they didn't end up being what y'all thought.
Mhm.
So it was a lot, bro. It was a lot that went into it. But yeah, bro, senior year we lost that NIT game, bro. I was gone the next day.
I was just about to ask that. So having your mindset like that already, not really wanting to play, but doing it for your coach and ushering the guys after you. What was your mindset to get ready to shift to get ready for the NBA?
Yeah, I was already locked in, bro. I had like I said, when I put my junior year, I played hurt. So I had like a grade 2 sprain and like a bone bruise. And I heard it like probably like the 4th game of the
Was
season.
your hand
And
right?
I played hurt the whole
Was
huh?
it
No, it was my
oh
ankle.
ankle? Oh,
So I played basically like I played on one leg my whole the year I led the ACC in scoring, I was hurt.
wow.
And
Dang.
so I was getting an injection the whole season. And so if you look at my numbers, like I always shot a lot of free throws, but
Mhm.
my junior year, I probably shot like almost 10 or 11 a game in ACC play.
Ooh.
And it was mainly because I was hurt. I just had to figure out a way. Like I said, I can adapt to anything, but like you can go back. I'll show you pictures, bro. It was times where I was hooping. Like, I never wear team shoes.
Mhm.
Like I had to wear like team shoes a size up because I had to get tape
Mhm.
and I was wearing ankle braces. Like I never wore ankle braces in my life. So if you look back at like some old pictures, like if I had on ankle braces or anything, like
Right.
people didn't even know. Like I really was like I was going
Mhm.
through it. Like we would play, I couldn't really practice. So yeah, bro, like it just like my mentality shifted. Like once I put my name in my junior year and I heard everybody say what they said about me, like, look, he late second round, could work his way into the first round, gotta prove he can play a little bit point. I'm like, all right. I see my group that I was going against. I'm like, all right, like I'm definitely better than, some of these guys. I know I can get in the first round, but like it was just timing, bro. Like I had a flight to where else was it go? Cleveland. Yeah, I had 2 workouts. And mind you, my junior year was the first year they did that rule change. It was like you couldn't stay throughout the process and go
Yeah.
back. So mind you, like this is all luck against me. They only did this 1 year. They changed the rule after that year. So we only had 2 weeks to decide. So I was done school, but they said, you know, you can't do a workout until every university is done. Everybody had to have the same playing field, whatever. So I'm done school, but I can't work out. So I got 2 workouts set up. It was like Cleveland, Portland. I was going straight to Cleveland, from there go to Portland. It was the only 2 I could do in that time frame. Get to the airport in Blacksburg. Only flight canceled is Cleveland. Like literally, bro. Like, you know, the airport there is small. So it's like flight canceled. So I'm in the airport for like 8 hours, bro. I'm talking to my agent. I'm like, bro, what can I do? He like, bro, there's no other flights going out until tomorrow, and you supposed to go to Portland. So he was like, bro, the only thing we can do is fly you directly to Portland. So I sat in the airport, bro, for like 10 hours. I go straight to Portland. Like I missed the Cleveland workout, and Cleveland was the team that was highest on me. And go to Portland. I kill Portland, like kill it. And so I call my agent. I'm like, bro, these all the early entry niggas, like, is no, like, they can't fuck with me. So,
Who in your workout?
I think that workout was like Taylor Battle. Um, fuck, who was it? Luke Babbitt. I don't even remember who was in that workout, but I just like, I in that setting like that now, I was already in the workout setting, one-on-one setting. Like, I was already, and I was in shape, but my ankle was fucked up, and nobody knew my ankle was fucked up. So this is the first time I ever worked out without getting an injection or doing anything. As soon as the workout was over, I got on the plane, my ankle swelled up.
Dang.
So,
Yeah.
and I couldn't even walk. So I called my agent. He like, yo, they told me like, you look good, like da. Like, what do you want to do? I'm like, but I ain't gonna lie, I need to get my ankle checked out. And he was like, what you mean? I was like, bro, there's no way I can go through the process like this, you know, with my ankle being like this. I was like, there's no way I can, you know, have back-to-back workouts. I was like, I just did one workout and I can't walk. So they didn't give me time to make the decision. It was like, yo, I gotta go back to school because of the rule. And literally I went to a doctor in Vegas, and they was like, bro, why are you hooping? It was like, they shut me down for the summer. So, you know, I played that whole season hurt, but the whole time I'm fucking my ankle up more because I felt like any game I missed was gonna be an opportunity, you know, for me not to be seen. So I always played. And then it was just like, yo, they was like, you gotta sit down. So they set me my whole going into my senior year, that whole summer I didn't do nothing. I just therapy, trained, did what I had to do, but I couldn't do no basketball. And so I was already in the mentality like, bro, once the senior year over, I'm done. I knew the lockout was coming. My agent, I had a good agent. He told me like, yo, next year is gonna be a lockout. So he was like, look, we're gonna do what we can. You know, if you get drafted, it's gonna be great. He was like, but I'm telling you, if they got you in the second round, he was like, I almost would mind if you didn't get drafted. He was like, you know, you're good enough. He was like, I'm gonna have a deal for you overseas. He was like, we're gonna get you some money, and then if you come back when the lockout is over, that's cool. Or I want you to go overseas and kill your rookie year so you can come back and play summer league next year, and then we got a real deal. So it kind of played out. I was already in the mentality of like it was a business at the time. Like we had set my whole senior year up, whereas like I could have graduated as a junior. I had took all my hard classes and knocked them out the way. So I didn't have really no school my senior year. So it was strictly basketball. So it was like once I was done basketball, I was done.
You did something, and I know we got a few minutes, not
No,
that much
good.
long, but I wanted to say you did something. You signed. I believe it was after your senior year. You signed overseas, and then you went to the
Yeah,
NBA.
I signed before the draft.
You signed before the draft,
Yeah,
and
so we
then you
didn't
went to.
remember that year we didn't have it was no summer league my
No,
rookie year.
oh,
Well,
it was no summer league.
my senior year was no summer league because of the
Yeah.
lockout. So I signed, but I had already signed before the draft. So regardless if I would have got drafted or not, my agent had plugged me in with a good situation.
Mhm.
And I was already good. So I never even
In
like I
France,
was
right?
already yeah.
Yeah.
So I was already signed. And that was that like I think that attracted a lot of NBA teams to me because they seen I had a different mentality. Like I had my friends didn't know nothing about the lockout. They like, bro, lockout coming. I'm like, but what y'all gonna do? Like you gonna get some money, you gonna play? They like, nigga, we gonna wait, we chilling. They was taking loans out, doing different stuff. I'm like, I'm about to go get some money. Like I ain't no money. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm about to go over here. And then, you know, that helped my game out too, because I actually got to play more pick and roll, like, you know what I mean? That
Mhm.
was the change. I think that was the biggest changing point in my career.
You overseas?
Yeah, that first experience, like seeing pick and roll, like playing that was the first time I ever really played, because I didn't really play pick and roll at VTech.
Mhm.
Being able to, the game slowed down for me, and that definitely, like, that helped me out. It slowed me down. I still was aggressive, but I wasn't just like score for, like, it was only either score or
Mhm.
assist. Like, it wasn't no make the extra pass to get to another pass. I wasn't even, that wasn't a rule for me. It was just like Greenberg, like, yo, your first, like, you coming off the score, and then, you know what I mean, if they trapping you, or then you pass it.
Yeah,
But
you get
I didn't have, overseas is like, man, that weak side corner, I never knew nothing about that. I probably didn't throw that pass one time in my college career, like pick and roll, weak side three, like, never. It just never was a thing. We didn't drill it. We didn't do, like, we just didn't do it. So, that definitely opened my eyes up.
Is that hold on, Lee. Hold on, Lee, before you go. Before you go. I think that's a Baltimore thing as well. I know Seth, but in Baltimore it's straight get a bucket.
Yeah, it's
And like
bucket. If
Levan's was
you
the
open right there, you might
yeah,
get the.
go get it.
Other than that, no, I'm coming out this
Levan's was the
screen
first
score.
person I seen, and I think it's the difference between Baltimore and New York. That motherfucker would throw that pass across. It's something I didn't see. Like I'm fuck that pass. I'm trying to get a bucket. Uh, that I think that's just a Baltimore thing.
No, fact.
That's why I'm laughing, man, because it's like, yo, it's crazy to hear that. I mean, like you said, that's what y'all system. That's what y'all was working on and doing. And in our system, they were big on assist to assist. That's what we prided ourselves on, like, making the pass and the
Mhm.
extra pass. I can't tell you how many times I got that. Like, and it's like, we did. That's what made our team. So when I hear you say that, it's
Yeah, it was total opposite.
we was big on that. They screaming at extra pass. Like that was a big deal at our school.
Yeah, we ain't had none of that. It wasn't no extra
Even
pass
with me.
unless they extra passing to me. It wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, yo,
It
Malcolm,
wasn't
I
happening.
I didn't I didn't had I didn't had a career y'all had in college, but I got my shots up, bro. Like
No, you definitely did. You found your way and got comfortable. But like you said, y'all had a good system where, like, if you was solid and you fit into your system, you was gonna play, like,
Mhm,
y'all just
mhm,
had players that y'all could plug into spots.
mhm,
Like, that was another thing that I liked about the Big East. Like, it was the conference was hella guards, but it's like
mhm,
every teams played a little bit different, but it was just like on the offensive side, like, y'all all played like that ball movement and shit, like that every team had it.
mhm.
yeah.
And I used to see it, I was like, damn, these is like, I'm looking at it, and then Greenberg, he wanted, it was just, bro, we was Michigan State. Like, our whole scheme was Michigan State. He like, man, he bringing Izzo. He like, man, this is what Michigan. I'm like, nigga, this V-Tech. I'm like, bro, bro, we not Michigan State, bro. Like, we can't run. Like, we
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
got we ain't
funny.
got no Michigan State
Right.
big, bro. We can't do this. So I'm like, nigga in Blacksburg, man, we get some buckets. We got Jeff here, DC. He
Mhm.
wants to score. When he get the ball, his head down, he's trying to score. When I get the ball, I'm gonna get my 20 regardless. I just figured the game out. So it just like we definitely didn't have that discipline.
Yeah. And talking about pro, and I don't want to go, team for team, year for year, but your first year, we speak about it in France and the team Chalon.
Yeah.
You won the French league championship there.
Yeah,
Um,
we won everything. We won the cup, the French league, the preseason one, and then we lost in the Euro Challenge final.
the Euro Challenge, you was in Euro Challenge.
Yeah, so we lost, but they was stacked. They had like Besiktas, they had like Carlos Arroyo, Pops, Mensa Bonsu. Like, they had that.
Mhm.
Like, that's the year Darren Williams was there, like, for the lockout. So
For
it's
the
like
lockout.
they had, their budget was just crazy. But our highest paid player was probably making 180,000, 200,000.
Mhm,
They had multiple people
mhm,
making over M. So it's like
mhm.
we wasn't even supposed to be there. Then we ended up playing our worst game. We could have beat them, but yeah, we had a great. We won three cups my
Three
rookie
cup.
year.
And then you went to Ukraine,
Yep,
right?
killed. But that's the crazy part. Another story. That summer I come home, mind you, Cleveland come back.
Mhm.
Yo, come back. Let's do some summer league. I'm like, all right, cool. Cleveland back. So I commit to play with Cleveland. They call me like 2 weeks before summer league. Like, yo, Kyrie want to, mind you, Kyrie didn't play summer league because of the lockout. So they're like, oh, Kyrie want to play. So we don't have a roster spot because Kyrie gonna play, and then we got two G League players. So I'm like, all right, waste my time. I turned down hella other teams because I thought Cleveland was the team. And
Mhm.
then got a call from Detroit. They like, yo, B Knight gonna play 1 or 2 days because he had just started. Like he started the whole season. They're like, B Knight gonna come. We need a backup. What you doing? Like I'm leaving Orange Mills, going downtown to I'm going to Blue Moon, bro. I'm in the car. My agent like, how fast can you get to the airport? I'm like, well, I got somebody with me, but I'll drop her off and I'll just go to the airport. He like, all right, they want you at practice. So I literally, bro, didn't have nothing. Went, dropped her off, drove to the airport, flew to Orlando. Got there. I had to go to the Nike outlet, go grab some shoes. I went down there with nothing, bro. And I seen their team. That's when Kimmy got drafted. They had Andre Drummond. Them dudes got there. And I'm like, all right, cool. Nigga, they didn't play me. Like they played
Was you
Casper
in
Ware.
state? Was you in
Yeah, I'm fresh off
overseas?
the rookie
Oh, just
year.
fresh off the run in
I'm like,
Kiev. Okay.
I'm getting Euroleague, I'm getting Euroleague looks. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm thinking like, nigga, I just had a great year. They was on me last year. I proved I could play the point. I went to minicamp in Cleveland, killed minicamp in Cleveland. They like, bro, whatever your vision and pick and roll, they like, bro, you develop. They saying everything that I need to hear coming out, a rookie
Right.
year. And then they didn't have a spot for summer league. Then I go there, go to Detroit. I don't play the first 3 days. So now I'm looking crazy. Got EuroLeague coaches coming to see me. I'm not playing. I'm telling my agent, like, bro, like, I just ain't no rookie coming in this year better than me. So
Right.
these second round and these undrafted players said nobody be playing over me. And they was playing Casper Ware. And then it's crazy, bro. They like, be patient, bro. We're going to play you tomorrow. They played me, but on a game jersey, I had a different number than what they had on the practice.
Oh,
I tried to check into the game, bro. They told me I couldn't check in the game because my number didn't match. I said, bro,
no.
nah. That was the day I said, fuck the NBA, bro. Like, I real live, like,
Oh,
told
you
my
said
agent,
they
I'm
was
like, bro,
playing with you.
yeah, I said, bro, there's no way,
No way
bro.
you could
Like,
say
the
that.
day I'm supposed to get in, can't check in. And I just told these, bro, my number not the same. They like, nah, it's
Good.
cool.
Oh,
But they had to go to the hotel, get my practice jersey, and bring it back. I'm like, bro, now it's in the third quarter.
oh,
I'm like, nah, bro. I told my agent, like, bro, this shit embarrassing. Like,
yeah.
nah, I'm not going, bro. And I just after that day, bro, until I played in the league, bro, I just kind of chalked it up with the league. I was like, I'm gonna lock in on overseas.
And I was just about to ask you
And
that
that's
because mentally, like being in a situation like that, I was able to play overseas my first year in Russia and was A1 league or whatever, playing against CSKA and things like that. But my mentality, being
Mm-hmm.
honest, like in Maine, though, when I first got my contract, he was one of the first people besides my family, my mother and them that I showed. He like, bro, what? You better go over there.
yeah.
I was so locked in on I'm an NBA player. Like, nah, I'm not
Yeah,
an
it's
NBA
league.
that I
They-
feel like I lost track of what I had good overseas. So when I
Mm-hmm.
that,
Malcolm.
that's what I just want to allude into is like, what was your mentality to just switch and go? You know what? They ain't accepting me for what I got. Let me just lock in over here, get all this money over here, be a top player, become a big god star, go to Europe, etc. How did you turn your mentality to just lock in to go overseas and not look back anymore?
Yeah, so
MD,
that summer
MD,
definitely
MD,
did. But
MD. Before you answer that, let me just tell you, I looked at this boy contract and I said, "Ain't no way you tripping about the NBA, bro. Ain't no way you tripping about
and
the
they was
NBA. You
giving
know
that, and
that type of money?
they was giving it out in Russia
What?
too.
I got a meal off
What?
the rip, bro. I was with Pops.
Yeah,
Pop with
yeah,
Sescon, bro.
they was giving it up.
Story some
Yeah,
things, but
so
yeah, go.
Yeah, but go ahead.
yeah, just with that, I think that set the tone for it. I think my agent already had a plan. He was just like, yo, he was like, bro, we know, because bro, even with the draft, they had me. Hold on, what did they had me best available like the last. I was like top 3 best available like the last 40 picks of the second, like the second round of that draft. So my agent was like, look, bro, he was like, I know what you can do overseas. He was like, my plan for you is I want you to go over here and become one of the top players overseas so they can come after you. He was like, I don't want you to chase the league. He's like, if you want to play in the G League, cool. He was like, we will have a contract for you tomorrow. He was like, but it depends on what you want to do. He's like, you can go make money. He's like, I know you can be one of the best guards in Euroleague. He was like, but in 3 to 4 years, they're going to be coming after you with real money. He was like, I want you to go to the league on your terms. I don't want you chasing and doing. He's like, if that's what you want to do, we'll do it. But he was like, that was a plan he set for me. So I think that summer when they did that in summer league, it just set that plan in motion like even faster. It just was like, man, like I realized I was like, man, fuck this shit. I stopped watching the NBA. Now I'm watching Euroleague. Now I'm watching, like I said, that mentality kicked in. It's like, who the best guys in Euroleague? Oh, how much he make? Oh, he make this? And it was like the first time I really seen it was when I went to when I was in Ukraine. Preseason we had Pat Bev. So Pat Bev had signed in
Yeah.
Spartak in St. Petersburg, and they gave him a bag. Mind you, again, like dudes who played on the Adidas circuit, some of these guys I never crossed paths with. So I'd never seen Pat Bev in person. I knew who he was, but you know what I mean? I just seen, you know, in Europe, like if you're on a low budget team and you playing against a big budget team, all they talk about
Yep.
is the money. So my coach come to me, he like, bro, you know who that is? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's Pat Bev. He's like, man, you know how much, you know his contract, da da. So they just kept talking about money. And he like, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, they like, I'm like, he made what? They said, and mentality kicking. I'm like, oh, I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm making this much, this making this much. I'm like, hold on. That team got a budget of what? Their backup making, I'm like, they backup making 3 times more than me. I'm like, nah, bro. So, you know what I mean? Mentality kicking. We end up beating them. I hit a buzzer beater. Like I hit the buzzer beater. I called my agent at the game. I'm like, bro, there's no way, bro. I said, I need in. So he like, what you mean? And then we in the hotel, Pat Bev walk in. He walk in, I think he with his girl. This come in, I remember this shit, bro. I told him multiple times, bro. Like he motivated me to another level. Walk in with a big ass Breitling on, like he having a bust down Breitling. They had hella bags. They just went shopping. I'm like, nigga, and mind you, in Europe, it's like you lose a
You
game,
sat,
like you,
yeah, yeah.
man, we in there. I'm chilling in the lobby. Just walk in there with the bags. I'm like, bro, respect, whatever, da da da. He rapped to me a little bit. He like, man, I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. He's like, man, I'm probably gonna leave. He was saying something about the NBA. He was like, you know, whatever. And it ended up happening, but he was like, yeah, bro, I'm trying. He's like talking about getting out his contract. So I hit my agent again. I'm like, bro, this Pat Bev said he gone. I'm like, bro, if he gone, I need that. Whatever bread they
Need
paying
that
him, bro,
scrap.
I need that. I'm like, so that was the first time, bro. You know, Draper, I was always cool with Draper. So I knew stuff, but it's like, that's the first time I seen somebody again where it's like, yo, he getting paid this much. I need to see where I match up against with the competition. And then I seen everybody around him. I'm like, he definitely good, but the guards that's around him, I'm definitely better than them. So it's like now that flipped the switch. It's like now it turned into now I got to kill everybody who's supposed to be making more money or like next year, bro, I need to get some bread. And it kind of clicked from that. It just gave me another chip on my shoulder, you know, playing over there. And, you know, that Eastern Europe money was different. And so anytime I got a chance to play against any of them teams, like I just try to kill them.
Try to kill him. And then after that,
Man, now you can ask the question, but just real quick, yeah, that's the team I signed with. So that's where I was with that point.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so they was kicking that shit out.
the next year, that's when you end up. The next year, you end up going to Munich, though, right?
Yeah, and same. So rookie year, we went to yeah. So rookie year, we qualified for Euroleague. I left. They didn't have enough money, so I left France. My second year, we qualified for Euroleague again. They wanted to bring me back, but they had problems with money, and I never had a problem personally, but I just seen where it was going with the team. They couldn't pay me,
That was
and so
Ukraine, right?
yeah. So when Munich came, it's crazy because now my name is
It's
hot.
hot. Yep.
And my agent was like, "Look, he like, it's you got a big decision to make. Mind you, I wanted to play in Maccabi. Like that was my. I just kept hearing about Maccabi. I'm seeing them. I'm like, man, I see Tel Aviv because we had just played in Jerusalem. I'm like, I'm trying to go live in Tel Aviv. So David Blatt was
That would be
there.
nice.
I hit up my agent. I'm like, he like, yo, what you thinking? I'm like, bro, I want to go to Maccabi. I told him, like, bro, he had a relationship with David Blatt. David Blatt was in the A. My agent in the A. He hollered at David Blatt. He like, yeah, he probably 1 or 2 years away. So I'm like, what, nigga? So I'm like,
He said
mind
you're
you,
1 or 2 years away.
yeah, from playing at
And
Maccabi. Mind you, they don't have the money. Like they don't even have a lot of money, but it's just like they just felt like they was one of the top. So I'm like, damn, I'm like still like you're still trying me. So then my agent like, look, I got a good situation for you. He like Munich came. He was like, it's not gonna be your biggest offer, but he was like, bro, if you play good for this coach, you're gonna be stamped in Europe for the rest of your career. He's like, it's the craziest coach in Europe right now. They was like, but he one of the most respected. He was like, I told you, I warned you about Serbian coaches. He like, this is the top one. He was like, you survive this shit,
You
and
good.
he was like, you gonna be good. So I'm like, fuck it. I can play Euroleague. I'm like, Germany seemed like it was cool. I'm like, Munich was a big brand, and they gave me the ball. He like, look, you need to go here. You're gonna play point guard full time. And at the time in Europe, point guards and pick and pop forwards was getting the most money. Like it was, you had to play one of those two. If you was good at them two spots, you was getting paid. So he's like, look, they not playing you off the ball. He was like, you gonna go here, you playing full time. He's like, you're not gonna play 28 minutes. He was like, you gonna go here, y'all gonna have, you know what I mean? So I'm like, cool. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take the challenge. And so I went there, locked in on playing the one, and just had a good year. And like wasn't chasing no stats, nothing. Ended up getting MVP. We ended up going like top 16. It was the first time they ever played in Euroleague. And so that year was cool. And then that's when I got my first NBA offer, during the year. And it was after we played Maccabi. So the shit was like, bro, it just came full circle. But that year, like he said was gonna happen, that's what happened. And the crazy part, the circle back all around to that, I got my first offer because Pat Bev got hurt.
Wow. Oh shit.
So I had the Rockets. I remember the year, I think he had broke his hand or something. Like, and they was looking to bring somebody in for the playoffs. And it was because of that. All that shit came full circle.
That's crazy. I was
So,
overseas when.
And
Yeah,
they ain't let me out. They didn't let me out.
I was about to say because you never end up going there.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had my two worst games. My agent called me like, yo, Daryl Morey is in Germany. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I hope the nigga ain't just see these last two games. We had just lost in the cup. We got smacked. Ohm smacked us. And he was like, yo, I'm like, what the hell are they here for? He like, well, they're gonna be in Munich next game, such and such, whatever. And so I played. I'm on my way home. He called me. He like, yo, pull over. So I'm like, he's like, no. He's like, what you doing? I'm like, driving home from practice. He like, pull over. So I'm like, what? He like, you might want to. He's like, you want to sit down to hear this. So I'm like, what's up? He like, Rockets just offered 2-year. It was like 2-year, 3.6. He's like, they're gonna give you the mid-level exception. Da da da. So I'm like, I'm just thinking about this shit. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, so I really pulled over, bro. I pulled over. It was like a McDonald's parking lot. I'm like. He like, yeah, he's like, bro, I'm gonna call. He's like, I'm about to call your father. He's like, I know he gonna want the news. So he's like, I'm gonna call your father. You go home. We'll talk about it later. So I'm like, bet. So I'm going home, bro. I go home, look at the contract. I'm like, these really just offered me, mind you, this is March. So the mid-level exception, they had to get rid of the money. So I was gonna
Right.
get that the 1 year salary in whatever amount of months that was for the first half. And then I would get the second half on the option. So I'm just looking at this shit. I'm like, I start looking at houses in Houston. I'm like, shit, I was like, I'm signing this. so, so I talked to my father. He was like, yo, you know they ain't gonna let you out, right? And I'm like, but I didn't have NBA out in my contract because again, I wasn't even thinking about the league. I'm like, bro, I don't need the NBA out.
wow.
He was like, yo, they're not gonna let you out. He's like, you too valuable. So they call me, the GM, like, yo, come meet before practice tomorrow, whatever. I meet him, the contract on the table. I'm like, yo, this ain't gonna let me out. So he like, bro, he's like, I love you to death. He was like, man, you too valuable for us to lose. He was like, I don't care what amount of money they offer us, but we took half the salary. So I think it was automatic. They could pay like 480. They could pay the team 480. It was more than I was making that year. And it was only like a couple months left. I'm like, bro, y'all can go buy another player.
Right.
Any caliber player with the regular buyout. And I offered like another 600,000 out of my own money.
Again.
So we offered him like $1 million. It was like $1 million, 1.1. I'm like, bro, we'll give you this to let me go. He's like, bro, I don't care what they offer. We're not letting you go.
Damn.
He was like, you too valuable for the club. He was like, bro, we just, we invested everything into you. The team is built around you. He was like, I hope you understand, da, da, da. I'm like,
Oh,
bro,
man.
that shit. I was like, man, that shit broke my heart. That shit broke my heart. But then it just was like, I'm like, fuck it, bro. Because I could have just left. And I talked to
Yeah.
my agent. I'm like, bro, what happens if I just leave? He's like, well, if you leave, it's nothing. There's no consequence, but you probably not going to be able to go back to Europe.
Go back to Europe. Yeah.
He was like, if this don't work out, you're going to have a bad name in Europe. He was like,
Yeah.
so again, make the decision that you want to make. And I was like, fuck it, bro. I see now that I'm right here in the league. Like now I can see, like I seen a contract. Now I see a real contract. I'm like, now I know where I'm at.
Mhm.
And whatever our plan was working. And this after year 3, he said, 3 to 4 years. And so, I finished the season, ended up getting MVP in Germany, and like another bad summer. The summer when Braun went back to Cleveland.
Mhm.
So everything stopped. Like no
Nobody was
NBA
moving.
teams was signing people, no
Mhm.
nothing. Like it was if not everybody thought they was gonna get Braun. So
Waiting for LeBron.
we called Houston. Houston, like, yo, we waiting for LeBron. We want you, but we can't do nothing early. If you give us 2-3 weeks, we might be, I'm like,
Right.
bro, y'all just offered me. We just had a contract. Like, Bron don't got nothing to do with me. Like,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, bro, this has nothing to do with me. But again, bro, he had the league on lock. And then same thing my agent said was gonna happen. Everybody started coming at me with a lot of money. And he's like, look, these motherfuckers ain't waiting 3 weeks.
Mhm.
He was like, so now you get Russia. So I had like Galatasaray, I had Loco, and I had Olympiacos. Olympiacos tried to buy me. They tried to buy me out during the season.
In Munich?
But yeah, they wanted me. We played them first round, and I was killing them. And like Greek fans, once they see a player and they
Mhm.
gravitate to him, they said they had to offer me because they never seen the fans follow a player like that. After a game. And so I had those three. Maccabi come back. Fuck y'all. Like they didn't have no money. So it
Mhm.
was like now you talking about I'm a year or two removed. Now you need me. Y'all don't have enough money now. So it was one of those things. It's like, do I wait around for the league or? And I was so like paranoid. I'm like, nah, bro, the league gonna fuck me over. So why would I
Mhm.
give up this guaranteed money? I'm still young. Like, man, I'll try this again when I'm 25, 26. I'm like, if I can go get 2 years guaranteed, my first goal was to be a millionaire by the time I was 25. So it was like, I didn't care how it was going to happen, like what it was. So once I started seeing contracts, I'm like, hold up. Nah, bro, I'm gonna go over here for 2 more years, but I can
Mhm.
sacrifice, just put the NBA out of my contract.
Mhm.
If they want to come get me, then they'll come get me. But at this point, I'm just like, man, I'm at the top of Europe, so I want to make the most money possible. And I ended up going to Russia.
Russia was your biggest bag until the league?
Yeah. So I went there, signed a 2 year. Um, our team was crazy the first year. We like broke the record for Euro Cup wins and then lost in like the final four. Like it was like an aggregate game. We went on the road, won by like 11, then lost by like 20 at home. And we was literally, bro, we were supposed to win Euro Cup that year. But the ruble dropped, so they cut our budget.
Mhm.
So they was like, yo, they was trying to find like teams for people to go to at the end of the year. They like, yo, if you could take this deal, bro, it's gonna help us out. So people was leaving. I still had another guaranteed year. Me and Aunt Randolph. So they was like, yeah, such and such. So I came home. Now everything picked up. Atlanta called me. This was the year before I went to Atlanta. My agent like, yo, Atlanta wants you to come down. They want to meet you. Um, they basically told me everything they was doing in the draft. They like, look, they looking to have another guard to complement Teague or Schroeder, one of the two. He was like, one of them about to go.
Mhm.
So they gave us the whole rundown. They wanted to trade one of them during the draft, but it ended up not happening. And then I had my out in my contract was for like July 15th. So, once the draft and stuff was over, I didn't have much time. Once they couldn't trade one of them, they like, bro, we can't do nothing within this time. If you can wait, we can make something happen, but they couldn't do it within that time frame. So
Mhm.
again, bad luck. I got to go back to Russia. The day I get to Russia, they're like, yo, we don't have the money to pay you this year. So if you can find a contract, we'll let you out. So I'm like, bro, I just waive my out. Like I just went past the date.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
told teams that I couldn't stay home and play because I had to obey my contract. I come over here and I get here and y'all could have told me this at
I
home.
could have stayed.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't go to camp like the first couple days of camp. Draper had just signed over there with us. Draper had left, went to the national team. So I called him. I'm like, bro, I'm about to go. He
Mhm.
like, I just came here because of you. Like, what you mean you about to go? I'm like, but they just told me they don't have no money for me. So we had a deal with like Shanghai. I think Shanghai was connected to the Rockets with
Mhm.
Yao, and so they gave me a crate. It was more money than I had in Russia. They contract written up. The coach called me like, "Yo, why ain't you been coming around? Like, I hear that you're trying to leave." And this is the coach from Olympiacos when they try to get me from Munich. So he
Mhm.
built the whole team around me. He like, bro, I came here because of you. He's like, I wanted you for the last 3 years. He like, why would you want to leave? He's like, I said, bro, they didn't tell you. He like, what? I said, bro, they told me they can't pay me. He's like, they don't have the money to pay me. So he was like, what? He's like, give me 2 hours. He's like, don't sign the contract. Don't make a decision. And he went and told them like, yo, if Malcolm leave, I'm leaving.
Oh
And them
shit.
called me back like, yo, he's like, yo, come to the office. He's like, yo, they said they found the money to pay you. But I swear this shit was crazy. He was like, we good. And again, like ended up, we had a good year. We ended up going to the Final Four, Euroleague. And then at that point, it was just like, at that point, I was the hottest guard in Europe. So it was basically pick where I wanted to go. But the Hawks had came, we played in Barcelona, and the Hawks had came there in like December and was like, yo, we apologize. We couldn't get it done last year. We're guaranteeing you right now that we'll have a roster spot for you, da, da, da. So I already knew that whole season that at minimum, I was going to be able to go to Atlanta. Like, it was like, now I'm starting to look at the league again. I'm like, all right, well, let me watch the Hawks play. I'm looking at them, like, I'm watching them more than I'm watching everybody else. And then once we went to the Final Four, that's when kind of everything kind of came to light, where it's like, now I had like 9 or 10 teams, but nobody was talking fast enough. And I had just seen like, okay, I had a deal. They played around. Now they want me to wait for somebody. So it was like, bro, I'm not even entertaining y'all if y'all not doing this. And I think we had a big deal in China. And my agent was like, look, this is what we're going to do. Final Four, we're going to meet with everybody. He was like, we're going to see who gets you the biggest contract offer, and this is what we're going to use as leverage in the league. He was like, I know these Chinese guys. He had just signed Andre Blatch there. He was like, I got Blatch. I know what they got. I know what they're going to offer you. He's like, let's go sit down with them. Let's just get the offer because this is what we're going to take to the league. So we sat down, met with them. They put the money up there, and we just looked at each other, and my agent was like, all right, well, we're not discussing money. So, you know what I mean? Me and my father walked out. He met with the team, and we kind of used that as leverage. So, once free agency opened up, Atlanta was the first team to call. They offered me some, and he used that contract. He's like, look, he's not coming back home unless he get at least this. So I was able to, go into the league with a decent contract as a rookie. But yeah, basically everything he said that the plan was going to be is what happened.
That's what's up, man. Who was
And
your agent?
Andrew Vi.
Andrew Bauer was doing his thing.
It was so he's with ASN. He was with Andy Miller at the time. And then to bring it back full circle, the GM that brought me to Atlanta was working for the Cavs. So that was the guy who came over to France and seen me. That's who I talked to in my interview with the Cavs. And, he eventually got, I think when Danny Ferry got fired, he got moved up to GM. So he was the guy who brought me into Atlanta. So all that, like the interview I did, like all that stuff kind of came full circle because that was the same guy who gave me my first opportunity.
Do you feel like you got your get back? How your professional career ended up being that with things going in college or you being overlooked and whatnot? You feel like you got your get back?
Yeah, and I kind of set up a blueprint for a lot of players. Like I think
Brad said
a,
that.
a
Brad
lot
said
of
that.
yeah, a lot of players was chasing the league, bro. Like and it just like and Brad was one of them. Like Brad was kind of that not follow my blueprint, but like he put his work in Europe, became one of the top guards, and he was able to leave on his
Yep.
terms. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people wasn't doing that. They would, I know some of my friends. They chased G League, they chased the shit for 7, 8 years, and then they'd be like, "Oh, bro, I might come over and see." I'm like, "It's too late. Like you can't do that. Like it's not how it used to be." So, yeah, I think for me, it was just like I did it my way and I was able to do that and then make a decision on whether I wanted to stay in the league or not because, I wasn't happy there. And again, I kind of fell out of love with the game just with the politics and, tanking and all that shit. Like I just wasn't for it, but I was so used to winning.
You was playing
And
good there. You was playing good in
yeah,
Atlanta, bro.
bro, and that's how the league is. Like my rookie year, I go in, we got the best bench in the league. I got I think I had like a top 3 plus minus in the league. I was top 10 in mid-range percentage, top 5 in turnover rate, like assist to turnover ratio, rookie, like everything was there. And going into All-Star, I didn't get the rookie sophomore game. They was pissed.
Ooh.
Like it was to the point where they was calling the league. You know, they called me like, "Yo, we got an issue with you not getting picked. Uh, do you like? Do you even want to play in the game?" They was like, "Because if we go and complain to the league and they let you in, we don't want you to. You know, what I mean, you don't want to play." I'm like, "Look, I got vacation set up, but of course I'm going to play in the game. You know what I mean?" And I did make it after trade. I mean, after that, we end up. They made a decision on what they wanted to do with the team. So they traded Kyle Korver. And now we started to see like, oh, these ain't like, yeah, he's like, bro, you trade Corver to the Cavs. They bring in like Jose Calderon. He didn't play the whole year. We bringing in people that couldn't play. So it's like, bro, I played 19 to 24 minutes every game. No matter what it was, didn't have a third point guard. Um, and then they like, yo, we want to bring in a vet to get ready for the playoffs. And they bringing Calderon. So I'm like, all right, again, nigga not better than me. I'm asking assistants. I'm like, bro, what's going on? He like, man, just kill him in practice. Like, just make sure, we don't have no decision, whatever. Kill him in practice. Media come in the game day, like, yo, like, how do you feel about Bud saying that you and Calderon gonna split the next 12 games or whatever? And I'm like, huh? And they like, yeah, Bud said he gonna play him like 4, then he gonna play you 4, and then so I'm like, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. So then they like Bud called me in the office. He like, yeah, we didn't have a third point guard all year. We bringing in Jose. We gonna see how it works. Then we gonna put you back in. And we'll see, make a decision going into the playoffs. I'm like I'm like, all right, whatever. So he don't play good, and then I play, do the same thing I'm doing. Then he like, yo, for the playoffs, we gonna go with a vet. We need a vet, and I'm like. I said, yeah, bro. I'm like, this shit ain't it, bro. And then we go to the playoffs and play the Wizards, and they got Wall, Bill, and Brandon Jennings coming out the bench. We beat the Wizards, I think, both times during the regular season. I played 2 good games against the Wizards. You put Calderon against Brandon Jennings, bro.
Cooking them.
Like, come on, bro. I'm just like, bro, this shit was bad. And then that just kind of, my mentality for the league again was back like, damn, bro, like I just, you know what I mean? How you go from vouching me for a rookie sophomore game to talking about you bringing somebody else in, like you want me to change my day, like don't shoot middies, shoot all 3. I'm like, bro, like I'm being productive. The first group is losing every time we get in. We bring y'all back every time. Like we doing what we supposed to do. Now you switch it. And then it was just like going into the summer. I'm like, bro, what do y'all want from me? They like, look, the roster's wide open. We rebuilding. He's like, ain't nothing guaranteed. Dennis just signed the extension. He like, besides Dennis, nobody's untouchable. So I'm like, all right, bet. So now again, I don't go home. I don't get my trainer. I lock in with the Hawks the whole summer. And I felt like, I made a step. I was shooting it well. Coming to preseason, I'm averaging like 12 and 5. I'm like, all right, cool. First game of the season, they played me 12 minutes. I'm like, they got G League on the team he's playing. I'm like, bro, I'm like, bro, I just played well. I just had a great summer.
Right.
Played well in the preseason. Then the first game of the season, we're on the road. You play me 12 minutes. I'm like, hold up, bro. Something ain't right. So then we play the second game. Same thing happened. I know when I'm supposed to get in the game. I know when I'm coming out. My second stint come, he calls somebody else. I'm like, nah, this ain't it, bro. I call my agent. I'm like, bro, like, this my contract year, bro. I don't know what's going on, but I worked too hard for somebody to play with me again, bro. Like I bust my ass this summer, and this is a contract year, and I knew how important contract years was in the league. And so he like, yo, just play out this road trip. We'll talk about it. I talked to the coach. I'm like, Bud, what's up, bro? You said, a couple weeks ago, this the best you ever seen me look. I'm shooting it well. I'm passing, whatever. He's like, yeah, man, we kind of made a decision. We have a point guard in Dennis that's taking 20 shots a game. We don't want another guard coming off the bench being super aggressive on offense. He like, we just need you to play, how you've been doing on defense. We love it, but you got to tone it down on offense. And I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, they literally at my exit meeting said, bro, next year we need you to go back to how you played in Europe. They was like, we want you to shoot more threes and be more aggressive, like open it up more. I'm like, bet.
Right.
And then once I had that meeting with him, I'm just like, yeah, bro, I gotta get out of here. And so back full circle, I call my agent. I'm like, bro, let's, figure something out. He like, all right, I'm gonna look around the league and see Houston. So Houston, we back at Houston. and they like, yo, we would love to have him. They put a trade. I forgot the guy that was shooting underhand free throws. It was supposed to be I forgot that he went to Louisville, I think. Big. He was a big man. He used to shoot. It's like Onowaku or on something. I forgot the name. But they had that was the trade proposal. It was supposed to be me for him, and I'm like, cool. Somebody's like, yo, Houston, they want to do this, do that. Somehow Atlanta said something like, I was valuable for the locker room, and I was starting to play well. So, but I swear to God, I go to we play in OKC. We play Melo in them OKC. Coach pulled me up. He like, yo, I heard about, your trade request. He like, anything. He like, bro, you've been so professional here. You've been doing everything we asked you to do. Any way I can help you, get to a good situation, I'm going to help you.
This is
Bet.
Bud talking.
Yes, but he's like,
Right.
right now, he was like, we love everything you bring to the team, but, the organization is going in a different direction. So right now, you're not in the 10-man rotation. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Now I'm thinking like, all right, they're going to trade me. If I'm not in the rotation, trade me. Dennis decided not to play that night, and somebody else decided not to play. So he like, bro, the one thing I know about you is whenever I call your name, you stay ready, whatever. They played me at the 2. The first time they ever played me at the 2, that night I had like 20. So the best game I ever had after talking about the trade, after doing anything. So now the media like, why haven't you ever played the 2? And I was like, "Nigga, I don't know. I just do what they asked me to do." They was like, well, you look more comfortable off the ball. Like I was like, bro, I'm a combo guard. I can play both, but I never had the opportunity to play. So now they asking, why is Malcolm not playing? I had probably like 3 or 4 DNPs. They like, he looked good. Why is he not playing? But in my mind, I'm like, I know we tanking. Like they happy when we losing. But
Right.
now I'm like, shit, I could play the 2. So maybe this will, help me a little bit more. And then I went on like a little stretch where I was playing well. I was playing off the ball. And then I got hurt again. I hurt my ankle, the same ankle I hurt in college. I ended up hurting it like, it probably had like 8 more games to go in the season. And they called me in the office like, yo, you proved everything you needed to prove to be here. You showed everybody you belong in the league. So we're going to just shut you down for the rest of the year. They was like, we'll get you ready for, the off season and figure things out. And then these shut me down, and then everybody got fired.
That's crazy.
So they fired Bud. Was like, because that was the first time Bud ever missed the playoffs, and he wasn't fucking with it. And he was the coach and the president, so he was like, "Yo, if this is the direction y'all going in, I'm gone."
Right.
Like, so our whole staff ended up leaving, and then I ended up getting surgery, which was the surgery I should have got in college, and I played
All them
8 years. Yeah, or 6. Yeah, I played 6 years on that ankle that I was telling you about that I fucked up in college. Had the same exact injury. So once I did it and they said it, I was like, yeah, I already know what it is. But I told them, I'm like, would it be best for me to, get my ankle cleaned out? And they was like, yeah, like you got bone spurs and a lot of they were like, you should have been got it cleaned out. And I ended up doing it, when I did that, when they set me out.
Okay. Well, and we definitely went over time, but this was I love this talk, Malcolm. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You cool. We good.
And I know I don't even say I don't want you going to the China and Italy, but in Spain.
Yeah, China.
But I gotta say this, because I follow you on
And
Twitter, and I see you
the
going at it
crazy,
with,
they the crazy stories.
bro. I see you going at it with the fans on, from is it Spain or Italy?
Probably Spain. It probably Spain, Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah. I see you going at it with them all the time,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. It's crazy. Just to make it quick. So the China shit. So I only went to China, bro, to get my confidence back. Like it was, like I said, after that the Atlanta situation, I hated basketball. Like it was, I can't play, I can't lose. Like on pretty much on purpose. Like you're trying to lose. Like that ain't my thing, bro. I felt like I was being spoiled in the league with the just with the lifestyle, and then just the basketball just wasn't there. And I just kind of lost myself with basketball. So I told my agent, like, look, after I want to get this surgery, I want to get healthy. I want to finally be able to, play healthy. And I want to go somewhere where I can just kill. And so the same team that had offered me the deal in China came back around. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go over here, bro. It's a 5-month season. I can go, we'll be able to come back for the NBA playoffs, and I can just go get my confidence back. And then, so I go over there. Same shit. I'm averaging like 26-6. We the best team. We got 3 people averaging over 20. So nobody is. We ain't have a team where you had to get like 50 and 60. We had the best team. Um, and then we go to. I remember we go to Chinese New Year. So we got like a month left in the regular season, and my agent was like, "Yo, did they say anything to you about going home or something?" So I'm like, "Nah." He's like, "Well, the Chinese agent hit me up and saying they want to bring in 2 more players for the playoffs." So I'm like, why the fuck would they do that? But I think Marshawn was sitting out, but he had something, in China,
You
they be
came with
having like,
Marshawn?
so I didn't. He came in
Oh,
when
he
I
came.
left.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I think with Marshawn, they had to sign him by a certain time or they wouldn't be able to sign him for the next year because his team had rights or some shit. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
something. I didn't really care. Like once they was like, I was already going home because we had 2 weeks. We had a 2-week break.
Mhm.
So I had my shit packed at the game. I was like, I'm going home from break, and one of the assistants was like, "Yeah, bro, if you don't come back, like, it was nice, da da da." So I'm like, so I call my agent. I'm like, "Bro, why the fuck this nigga just tell me?" He's like, so he's like, "Yeah." So no, I get home. When I get home, he called me like, "Yeah, they just called." He said they want to bring in Marshawn and Mike Beasley. So I'm like, "Nigga, we already got 2 Americans." I'm like, "Why would they bring in 2?" He was like, "Well," he's like, "They saying that they're going to sign Marshawn for next year." And then I didn't know what they was doing with Beasley, but he was like, my contract was guaranteed. So he was like, "Look, you got 2 options." He was like, "You can stay there." He was like, "They said that they're going to rotate players." And I was like, "Bro, I'm not rotating nowhere." We was 36 and
Mhm.
4. Now I'm shooting. The GM just asked me what was going on with my 3-point percentage. I'm shooting 44 from 3. I'm
Mhm.
like, "Bro, these is retarded." Like, there's no way, like, he just asked me that, and I'm really shooting the best I ever shot in my career.
Uh-huh.
And so I just was like, yeah, this shit getting weird, but I had already got my last paycheck, like my official paycheck. So I'm
Mhm.
like, he was like, look, you got your money. He was like, we can negotiate your bonuses. He's like, you already got majority of your bonuses already. Y'all #1 in the league, so y'all going to the playoffs. We'll negotiate that. He was like, do you want to go back or would you rather stay home? And nigga, I'm about to turn, I think, what was this? I was turning 30, if I'm not mistaken. It was my 30th birthday. So I'm like,
Mhm.
I told him, I'm like, man, just get my bread, bro. I'm staying home. I'm gonna celebrate. Like, I'm celebrating at the crib. I'm going to Miami. So we ended up negotiating it. But once I demanded what I demanded, they like, nah, you got to come back tomorrow. Like once I say how much money I wanted from my bonuses, they like, nah, you got to come back. I'm like, if y'all don't want me to play, why y'all want me to come
Uh-huh.
back?
Right.
So we ended up coming to agreement. I'm like, bro, I'm not
Mhm.
leaving. So I ended up getting my bonus money and I stayed home, went to Miami, and then the Bucks called, which was my staff from Atlanta had went to the Bucks.
Mhm.
And they was like, yo, we need a guard for the playoffs, whatever, come try out, make sure I was in shape. So they played in Atlanta. They came to the gym. I worked out. Paul Gasol was hurt. And I think he waited till after the deadline to say he was going to get surgery to be out for the season. And that was the roster spot. So they was trying to
Mhm.
wait and see. So they thought that they would have a roster spot because Paul was hurt. But he waited till after the deadline so he can get that guaranteed money.
Mhm.
And so I was, what I mean, I didn't have it was no more roster spot. So
Right.
I thought that would have been a situation for me. But I still was like, all right, well, I'm back, like back in shape. I just had a good year. I'm back. I want to go back to the league. And so I think I ended up going to New York that summer. Melo was trying to get back in the league. So
Mhm.
me and Melo up there playing pickup. I'm killing New York. They want me to come back. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to keep coming back for nothing. Like, y'all got to at least give me a training camp invites, partial, something. I'm not about to keep paying my own money to come to New York and hoop with y'all. So they didn't do nothing. I'm like, nah. Golden State called, went to mini camp, killed Golden State. They called, said, yo, we want you to come back next week. Steve Kerr will be back. We got one more group coming in. And then on my flight home, Barcelona called my agent. And I seen the roster they had. I'm like, I'm on a flight and I'm seeing like they just signed Meritage, they just signed Corey Higgins, like,
Mhm.
and I told my agent, I'm like, bro, this team is I'm like, this shit is crazy. Like, I got a chance to go in Euroleague, and like I always wanted to I wanted to retire in Barcelona. Like before I
Mhm.
went to the league, Barca had offered me like a 4-year deal. So that was the one team that really wanted me to come. My coach from Russia went to Barca. They thought that they was gonna get all of us. So that was like a spot where I was like, all right, if I ever come back to Europe, Like, I want to play in Barca. And so when that came about, I was like, again, nigga, I'm not about to wait next week I just killed the mini camp.
Right.
I'm not waiting. And the season had already started. So they was like, yo, if you're going to do something, you need to come over here now because we got the cup next week. So I'm like, fuck. Like, I just, set up all my stuff at home. I'm like, bro, I don't know if I want to leave to Europe this quick. But then I thought about it. I'm like, it is Barcelona. Like, I can go over here, you know what I mean? And they gave me the deal I wanted. I was like one of the first players to sign like a 1+1 with a full player option. And so they gave me exactly what I wanted. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go here. I know I'm gonna kill the first year. And then I'm either gonna go back to the league or I want to sign like a 3 or 4 year and then retire. So, that was the whole thing behind going to Barca. They kind of just it set up everything I want, but the COVID thing kind of killed that.
I about to say that went into COVID year.
Yeah. So and they cut their budget. So I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. I had
You
already
already
took
went up
less
there.
because I
Don't
came
go with
late.
that.
Yeah, I was like, man, I didn't already sacrifice coming here. They wasn't starting me. Like, and mind you, this coach was the same coach from Munich.
Oh man.
So I'm going to play for the same crazy ass coach. But I'm older now, so it's like I already know how to deal with him. I'm not really, but I'm not for all that.
Yeah,
Like, look, I'm gonna come here. I'm a hoop. Treat me like a grown
exactly.
man. I'm gonna do my job. And like, I wanted to retire there, bro. Like, it was like we were negotiating the extension, but it was like I didn't want to play for him. Like I told the GM, like, bro, if I'm here for 3 more years, bro, I don't know if I can do it
Mm,
with him. But it was like it
Oh,
was
he had
both
this.
ways because once I left, they was like, look, we can't do nothing about that because y'all winning. And once I left, they lost, and then he ended up getting fired. So it was like I'm like, damn, bro, like, you know what I mean? But like I said, I wasn't going for. I mean, that late in my career, I wasn't taking no pay cuts.
Yeah.
And once I went home, they kind of did some wild shit in the media where they try to act like I forced my way out. And they was leaking, Spanish media is one of the worst media. So they was leaking all these fake stories about it. And once they started doing that, I lost respect for them.
Yeah.
And, Messina had wanted me to come the year before. And Milan wasn't really like a top team at that point. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing Milan. Like I turned it down. And then he called, as soon as I got home, he like, yo, I heard, it's a possibility you might be able to leave Barcelona. I'm like, yeah, I'm gone. I'm like, if y'all give me what I want, we don't got to go back and forth. I'm gone. And so he was like, just let me know, give me a number. I gave him the number. They came back. He was like, well, Mr. Armani, we're not cutting the budget. They was the only team not to cut the budget.
Oh,
And I'm like, shit. As soon as I heard
I'm
that, I'm
over
like,
there.
see that.
shit, I see. And he told me the plan. Like he was, Kyle Hines was going over there. Some new faces. They already had a couple guys, like Sergio Rodriguez was already there. So I'm like, this is a team that, I feel like I can win with. And shit, a good city. And, Messina was like, yo, we doing everything. Spurs doing low management. Like, so it was like when, you know what I mean? He said everything I need to hear. I'm like, oh, yeah, I ain't got to deal with,
Treated you
no
like a real
crazy ass.
pro.
Bro, man,
Yeah.
in
Yeah, I ain't got to
Europe.
deal with no crazy ass coach. I'm like, oh, man, look, bro, I probably played like 4 games in the Italian league my first
Wow.
year. Like, I was asking to play. I'm like, bro, I'm not in rhythm. Let me go. He like, nah, it's a long season. He like, we got 11 months. It's a long season. As long as you fresh at the end. I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, I don't know if this is good or bad. But I'm like, bro, nigga was rested, but it was just like, bro, I swear, bro, we went to camp. I'm thinking like we had to go quarantine for 2 weeks and then go into camp. We get in camp, practice like an hour and 10 in training camp. So I'm like, we finished in practice, like 3 turnovers. He like, man, what like it's a nobody shoot after practice, go home, we'll come back. I'm like, huh? I'm like, hold up. I'm like, this shit ain't
Yeah.
real. Then we come back. I'm like, look, coach. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We can't in practice like that. Like he like, man, just don't worry about it. It's a long season. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, he doing lockout days. Like, bro, don't come. I don't want to see nobody in the gym. The gym is locked.
Damn.
I'm like, bro, this shit like the league. Like once that, like Milan was like the league, bro. Like that shit was top notch, and that's why like I was cool with staying in, the last couple years. But yeah, that Barca was like a disaster. But Milan was like a breath of fresh air, and in regards to the treatment, and
Yeah.
that was the best place I could say in Europe that you get treated like a pro. They not worried about what you doing. Of course, you can't do no wild shit, but off the court, they not. Yeah, we got every meal, we got wine. You know what I mean? Like it ain't no
Yo,
like the
Brad
shit
said
was
the
so
same
loose.
thing. Now I'm thinking
Yeah,
about it. In Italy.
yeah. Like it was like I'm like damn. You go to any other team, nigga. You go to the bar, you got to
You got
sneak a glass of wine, or you want a little drink, nigga. You the night after the game, you got to walk by, you hiding. I'm like, you get to the table in Milan, it's bottles of wine. Y'all want wine? They come around pouring
pouring it
that
for
shit.
you.
I'm like, I'm like, yeah, but nah, that was, and just to, moving forward, like I got a good relationship with them. Like my AU program is sponsored by Armani.
Ooh.
So like
Oh,
we just renewed, and I'm pretty sure we're the first team to be sponsored by them in the US for sure. And we just renewed, rest in peace to Mr. Armani, but they just renewed the contract for another year. So I'll have that. They give all our jerseys and shit like that.
that's dope.
So just off of that, relationship, they want to do stuff with me moving forward. So I mean, all that shit come full
That's
circle,
what's
bro.
up, man.
That's what's
Congrats
up,
on that. What?
man. And that's a blessing you deserve, bro. I ain't gonna lie to
Yeah,
you.
it's just trying to change the game in different ways, man. Like you said, with all this stuff going on with brands, it's like,
You
nigga,
gotta get them.
I'm chasing Nike. Like I got a whole 2 boxes full of fucking
Yeah, that's
EA7
right. You
jerseys,
better rock
and
that.
you know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
it's stuff that people ain't never even thought about doing or being able to do. I'm just trying to use, my
Right.
platform to kind of do some different stuff for the kids. So hopefully I can
Mhm.
continue to keep building that.
No doubt, man. Well, I do
Did you ha-
appreciate
did you have an did you have an official retirement?
Nah, I
No,
need to.
you just
Oh, you did?
you just
I
like
would've
I'm
thought you
done.
did that. I would've thought you had a party and all.
Hell nah, I ain't, bro. And you know what's crazy? Because it just was bad timing. Because the first year I didn't play, and my agent thought I was joking. Like I had got hurt my first year in Milan, and it just was fucking mentally, it was fucking me up because I couldn't really work on my game. So I had my meniscus, and it was just like I played 7 months, and then my knee locked up, and I had to just get surgery, and we kind of rushed it back so I can play in the playoffs. I had a great playoff series against Munich, and then my body just shut down. And then I came home. But that whole year, bro, I had to go. I was the first one in, the last one to leave, but I couldn't do basketball stuff. It was always like work
Mhm.
on the knee, doing this, doing that. Yo, we want to rest you. We want to. So I didn't really get to, you know what I mean, do play to my potential that I thought they was happy with it, but
Mhm.
I wasn't. And then so going into my second year, I told them, I'm like, yo, I'm going home to the Hawks doctors. I'm gonna do this PRP stuff. I'm gonna, let me do it my way now because that shit wasn't working.
Mhm.
But I called my agent. I'm like, bro, don't call me next summer. He thought I was joking. I'm like, bro, I'm dead serious. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna play this. I'm a professional, bro. I'm gonna play this year out. I was
Mhm.
like, but mentally, bro, this shit is draining. And I was like, not being able to play up to my full potential because of injuries. I was like, mentally that shit wore down on me. And
Mhm.
so he really thought I was joking, bro. And we won the championship that year. I told him on the mic, I'm like, this probably the last time y'all gonna see me in Europe. Like, and so literally, bro, I got home. Everybody started calling. My contract was up. I told my agent, I don't want to see no contract, no numbers, no nothing. Like, I'm serious, bro. I just need time
Uh-huh.
away.
Uh-huh.
And then like he's like, all right, bro, I know I'm gonna call you October.
Yeah,
He's like, you gonna be ready to play by October, November. I was like, bro, I'm telling you, I'm not. I'm
Mhm.
like, at least New Year. I'm like, bro, I ain't entertaining nothing. And then you know what happened? Fucking Shane Larkin get hurt. F
Mhm.
his call in like October. Yo, we got this, that. Nah, bro. Like, and I purposely stopped working out, bro, just so I wouldn't even like I
Your
had just
mental.
opened the bar, so I'm locked in on the bar. I'm like, bro, I'm not even
Mhm.
in the mental space to go. And then it just was like back and forth what I wanted to do. Then I start working out again. And I told him, I'm like, bro, if the right opportunity come after New Year, I'll take it.
Mhm.
I was like, but it gotta make sense. Like I'm not going to no shitty city. Like gotta be decent money, whatever.
Mhm.
And so it was people calling, but I wasn't entertaining it. Then I think Baskonia called and they had offered me a lot of money. I think their point guard they had invested in failed a drug test. I think Pierre Henry like failed a drug test or something. So they called. They
Mhm.
like, yo, we need a point guard like now. They like, we need somebody to come in now. We need experience. And they offered me a lot of money. And then I talked to the coach and he just was like, yo, so how would you feel about coming here not being a man? I know. So I'm like, what you mean? He's like, I was like, bro, I just sacrificed a lot. Like, I don't know if you've seen me the last 2 years, but I'm trying to
Mhm.
win. And
Mhm.
that conversation with him, I was just like, If that's your first thing you said to me after, like, I just sacrificed all this shit the last 2 years and, been the player who kept the team together. I played hurt. Like, there was games I didn't take shots, but I still defended the best player on the other team. I'm like, if you didn't watch me the last 2 years, then you still thinking about me from 3, 4 years ago. I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, nah. So I called my agent like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, that conversation ain't go well. And I just feel like, Baskonia wasn't the best city. If I go over there, they don't have like ambitions to win a championship. I'm like, bro, if they say the wrong shit to me, I was like, I don't want to be the player to just go over there for some bread and then, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and I could have went and stole money. Like I could have went a lot of places and just chilled and stole money. But like when I be locked in, I be locked in. So I
Locked
kind of
in,
just
yeah.
passed on it. And so it just kind of led to like the next year, he called me like, "Oh, what you gonna do?" I don't know, bro. Like, I'm like, give me the right opportunity, I'll do it. But then they like, well, you ain't playing a year, so you need to go. I'm like, bro, I'm not proving shit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right.
Like, I left, I didn't leave like playing bad or playing like, bro, I can still hoop and I'm in shape. They see me in shape. So it's like, bro, I'm not coming there for, you know what I mean? I'm starting to do all this stuff off the court.
Mhm.
It's like, it just got to make sense for me to leave. And then it just like, I just never even thought about just retiring. It just was like even still till, last summer, like the team called like, yo, if Malcolm in shape, we want to talk. Like a good team. Like if, my Spanish agent's like, yo, you want to come play in the ACB, just show everybody you back for 200, 300,000. I'm like, bro, I mean, it just got to make sense. I'm like, bro, I don't want to go into a situation where it's like, nigga, I'm not trying to prove. I know I can help somebody win. I'm watching the guards right now.
Mhm.
I can go over that bitch out of shape
And
and
do it.
be better than a lot of the
Oh,
guards
you
that's over
you
there
still be
now.
watching the games over there?
Yeah, I watched a couple of them.
Mhm.
So this is the first year I watched a couple. I haven't watched no EuroLeague probably for like the last the season I didn't play. I wasn't watching at all. So I didn't
Yeah.
even know what was going on, but I got a couple of my friends that I catch a couple games now, but I just see like everybody's still complaining about point guards. So it's like,
Mhm.
Mhm.
nigga, I'm not about to like I can help you. Like I'm definitely not gonna hurt you, but
Mhm.
I ain't even think about like just sitting down and just like it'll probably happen soon though. But I like even right now, like bro, I'm probably about to go um just go to Europe for like a month. I just want to go get away from
Mhm.
here. So I'm just
I
go
seen you
over
check out
there and
Twitter.
just go train and just get a fresh. This is like a breath of fresh air, bro. Just get out of Baltimore, get out of America,
Mhm.
period. And then just go over there and be around basketball. It ain't even about playing or nothing like that.
You
It's
see the
just,
film.
change the scenery, just go over it. So, I mean, when I get over there, if I do that, then we'll see if, I mean, I don't know.
What about coaching? Is it a thought?
Not really. I
Yeah.
would do it probably in the league if I wanted to do it. I'm not sure. I'm scared of college, bro, just because of all like
What's
it
going on?
just the
Yeah.
turnaround is crazy now. Like how you got to recruit and like man, if the right situation came about, I probably would do it. I got a lot of friends now that coach, so it's like if it's
Mhm.
something like that and I can join the staff that I know I would be productive with, then yeah. But I haven't opened up to college yet, but I definitely did have some conversations about like the NBA
Right.
side.
Chess at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, they good now. Shit, after this year, they'd be lucky to keep him after this one. They gonna have a good year, and then he got Buddy to sign there, so they he might not be there too long.
We can definitely end it, but one thing I want to ask before we do end it, and we normally ask it early, but we know that this is NIL era. If you was playing right now, how much do you think you can get?
I be seeing some of these kids, man. I would at least get
2
2 million. ACC
I
Player of
was
the
about to
Year.
say, yeah, no accolades
Oh,
out there. You good.
yeah, we. I mean, I'd have been, bro. I'm seeing kids. So I'm trying to think, bro. I averaged like 9 my freshman year. I was seeing kids average 9 get 600,000,
Oh, yeah.
700,000.
Man.
I s Yeah.
So that's what I'm like, man. I don't. I would. I know for a fact though, just like from some of the stuff that I was doing with like the sneakers and like different stuff, I would have been able to.
Bro.
You know what I mean? If I'd have went to, I don't know if I'd have stayed at VTech, but I ain't gonna lie. After that freshman year, we'd have been
Mhm.
me and Big V would have been like, man, who
Who
got the
got the
most
bag? That's
chicken?
the thing that's
Uh-huh.
We'd have definitely, but nah, yeah, bro, I would have, man, I would have racked up with, especially if I stayed in school for 4 years.
that's the thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would have. I'm mad about that. We still
right?
need to they gotta figure
Yo,
out something with
They
that,
gotta
man.
figure it
no,
out.
son. Nah, we
We
got
need a
because
stat
there's
pay.
no way. something, man. We
We
was in
did that.
school 4
They making
years.
money off of what we did. That's
Yeah,
crazy. That's what I
That's
said,
pretty
bro. All
good.
these rules changed and like that draft rule changed with me. I'm just like, damn, bro. Like, I got stuck in between all that. Then now I'm getting we talking about people getting paid. You would never thought it was gonna
never.
happen, bro. They like,
Right.
man, how we gonna do this? How we gonna now?
And then my thing
And
is,
he's like,
one of the key things is you get the transfer without sitting out. That's crucial right there. You get the
bro, this going to four and five schools,
and just
bro.
leave, get another bag.
Like you just getting contract. You getting hired. You're a contractor.
Right.
And you can just go at the highest bidder every year, bro. And it don't, bro. If you transfer back then, it just was like, bro,
It's like a
damn, like you
stand
gotta
on you.
wait,
You got to sit out a
like you
year.
gotta sit
Yeah.
out, like talking about how many schools you done been to. Now, like it don't matter, but you just look at pictures. They got 4 different uniforms on, and they went prep before that, and there's like, damn, bro, you 26. Like,
Then,
bro,
then you,
if you was 22 in college, bro, they
He
said
was
you
old.
old
He
back
was
then.
uh-huh.
old.
You a senior, bro,
He was
you
minus.
old. It's 26,
And
25.
now they got to the point where you go JUCO. JUCO don't even count against
That's
you.
crazy.
Nigga, you could do a lot right now, bro. You 22-year-old
I'm saying,
freshman.
I might got 2 years left, bro.
Got
I
2
might,
years left.
Yeah, bro. I seen that, but I'm like, I'm looking at the Final Four teams. It's like, bro, everybody 22 to 25.
Yep.
I'm like, bro, and you get a couple freshmen sprinkled in there, but it's like, bro, this whole team is like, damn.
That's Houston for you too. They finally
Yeah,
got a
it's like
freshman this year.
Houston, like
That's how
them
Houston.
Houston teams. Yeah, like San Diego State, like them to be old. I'm like, yeah, and that's Houston.
That's how they
That's
recruit.
just they speed. They don't want no freshmen.
At
They
all.
get some grown ass men.
Man, we appreciate
oh,
it,
man.
Malcolm. Word, man. You was hard to catch up
Yeah.
with, man. I know you got the business, man. That's super dope too, man. Keep crushing it, man. I know you was a couple years after me, but I definitely know who you was, man. You was buzzing. Overseas,
Yeah, same. I paid
I had
attention.
people that was overseas, so I was definitely seeing you on Eurobasket. You, like you said, every time I saw your name, you was elevating, man. And just speaking to you, man, I just hope good things continue, man. Keep that confidence, man. Man, to tell you, I'm a confident dude. I love confidence. So you seem like that's how you roll. Keep it up, man. Just keep inspiring. Keep doing what you're doing with your program, man. Everything you told us and spoke on, super dope, man. We appreciate your time, bro.
Yep, appreciate you having me anytime, bro.
Appreciate you,
All
man.
right, Mal.
All right, my guys.